Good morning. Welcome to the Bond Sunday morning services. Thank you so much for being with me. I absolutely appreciate it. You can get involved by calling the number that you see across the screen there or emailing me at the email address there. Put your name and phone number. No, I don't need, name and town there as well concerning today's topic. Any questions or comment that you may have. The phone number is right across the screen. Good morning, everybody here. Good morning. Happy belated. Is it still Thanksgiving? It's still Thanksgiving weekend, so it's still Thanksgiving, right? Yeah. We're going to talk about the art of speaking up today. It is so important. But first, you guys know I'm going to ask this question. What are you thankful for? Did you think about that this weekend? No? Nobody thought about, you just ate and partied and didn't care, right? I'm thankful I'm to be off work, right? So, did you think about what you're thankful for? What are you thankful for?
Thankful for my family, thankful for my job. I'm thankful for the roof above.
A little louder for me.
And heat.
You're thankful for your job, for your family,
my family.
The roof over your head, and food.
And I said heat.
Oh,
I
heat?
could be thankful for food.
Oh, did you say heat?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said eat.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, right on.
My health, good people around me.
Yeah. Good. Did you think about it?
Oh, yeah.
What are you thankful for?
Grateful that, employed, secure, no craziness around me, things that I've had in the past that created chaos. I don't have that.
Right on.
So I enjoy the freedom and just all the negative stuff I was carrying many years ago.
Yeah. How about you?
Yes.
Yes, what?
I thought about it.
And what are you thankful for?
For life, for
life.
Healthy family.
For what?
A healthy family, and just actually that I'm able to look at myself at this point.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And when you look at yourself, what did you see?
It's a different question. I don't know. I just see a lot of, like I was saying, now that I'm able to see myself, I'm just starting to discover new things almost daily. It's starting to see the root of a lot of my actions and the way I think and feel. I'm really starting to see where it's coming from.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Give me an example of something that you saw and it was amazing that it was like that and you couldn't see it.
One thing I was thinking about is that, all this stuff from my parents and resentment for them. And I was just thinking that, I found why I'm this way and this is the reason, my resentment and my anger. But at the same time, I was thinking it's amazing that I'm allowing it to put a damper on my life.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yes, this is the reason. It's like almost like now that I've found it's the reason, it becomes an excuse also, and then it's hindering my ability to move forward. But I'm thinking why would you let something outside, that's only affecting me by feeling this way, to affect me this way? And I think I just noticed, I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy that would.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's amazing that something like that can make you not function in life.
Right.
And hold you back and you can become old like that. That is totally weird.
It is only you that suffers for it, not the other person.
Right.
It's pointless,
That's right. You are suffering because you're angry and this thing is controlling you and you can't function. Mm-hmm. And it only hurting you.
Right.
Unless you have kids and pass it on or something.
Well, right, but in our heads we always feel like, oh, they're gonna feel this way if I act like this, and
yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just like, man, how much longer will let this affect me, So
that's right.
It's something that came,
I think about death like that. I think back on some of the people I know who have died, mm-hmm. and they died years ago, 20 years ago, and you don't even think about those people anymore.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wow, it's something else to live a life and then die and everybody forget about you. And that's how it is when you're living and you're not functioning in the world, you don't have a life. People kind of just go around you and forget about you.
They do. Yeah.
And then if you want to borrow money, they get mad. But they kind of forget about you after a while.
Yeah.
That's a horrible way to live, huh? And a horrible way to die.
Yeah. Definitely.
What's the purpose of being in the world if you're going to die and nobody remember you? Even your kids forget about you after a while. Daddy who?
Especially if you didn't do anything, if you didn't really give to others, you know?
Yeah.
My husband's mother's like that. I mean, I don't think anybody thinks about her because she's very self-absorbed, you know?
It's amazing to live like that. Well, that's excellent, man. That is something to be thankful for. How old are you now?
29.
29. Well, it's about time. You about to be 30.
Yeah, right.
You about to be Jesus' age. Well, that's good, man. Because as I was saying earlier, I was in Indiana, and I tell you, I see adult people growing up with no life at all. And I'm thinking, wow, there's something else how you can live a life and not just live and be nothing. I mean, barely the government taking care of you, you know, just nothing, no life. Or you can live a great life. It's up to you.
Yeah, you do that, look up, and then your life's over. I mean,
It goes by just like after 21, it's over.
that's serious.
Yeah.
Years go fast.
Once 21 is there, if you don't hurry up and jump on board, you look around, you're 30. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
And then you're 30, you start then feeling bad about yourself. On my way out, a cousin of mine called me on my cell. She had tried to get with me. And she said, I wanted to ask you, what did you do to overcome that feeling of feeling like nothing? She said, I'm 50-something years old and I feel like nothing. I don't have a job. I don't have when I work, I have nothing to show for my work. And I just feel like nothing. And I said to her, well, it's the same thing I've been telling you for the last 20 years. You got to get over your anger. You got to stop hating yourself and others. I said to her, it's not what you have or don't have that's making you feel empty. It's that you have hatred or resentment in your heart and you're separated from God. And that's why you're feeling that emptiness. Because you could gain the whole world and still feel like nothing. It's not going to connect you to the one that gives life. And I've been telling her for years to sit down and pray and how to pray. And she won't do it. She'll do it for a minute and feel good, then she'll get away from it. And so I told her, it's the same thing, same story. I haven't changed that yet. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I guess I'll find that CD somewhere. She got to find the CD now. But it's amazing you can get old like that and not feel good about yourself. How about you, Tay? You thought about it?
Yeah, Ashley Casey asked me.
Yo, your daughter asked you that?
Mm-hmm.
What are you thankful for?
Yes.
What'd you tell her?
I told her I was thankful to be alive, thankful for my family. That's pretty much it. Just thankful to be here.
That's deep. Why are you thankful to be alive?
Because I don't want to be dead. Not good at it.
Because I don't want to be dead. And why don't you want to be dead?
Because I wouldn't see my family.
Oh, okay. That's a good. I wouldn't want to be. And I'm not talking about you. I'm thinking about Indiana right now. I wouldn't want to be alive and not have a life. And that's what a lot of my family members said. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to be eating, but they don't. It's like they don't have a. They don't have a life. Why be alive? And I know you have a life. Say you raised a family. You control your husband. You No, I'm kidding. But if I'm gonna be alive, I want to be alive. You know what I mean? Not just be alive, just to be alive, just to keep from being dead. Because when you're alive and don't feel good about yourself and don't have a life, it's like being dead, I think. Isn't that true? Yeah. I think because I remember when I didn't have a life, when I was alive, but I didn't have a life. And it felt like what I imagine, well, I don't know what death feels like, but it felt like death because you don't have a life. That makes sense? Just food for thought. Yes, Rhonda.
Same thing, family, my husband, my children, thankful for that. Get to spend time with my mom and them, she's still around, and have a relationship with her, and I'm really thankful that just having awareness that, you know, how to deal with everyday life.
Yeah,
That's
right
really
on.
important, just how to actually be a Christian in everyday life, because that's what it's all about, having to see yourself every day.
Yeah.
I'm listening to people talking about their pastors and their congregation, and they make an excuse, well, nobody's perfect, and that just wipes off the slate clean.
Sure does.
But it's really about every day making yourself better little by not
Becoming perfect every day with every
It
moment.
really makes your life so much better.
Yeah, it does. Okay, how about you, Christine?
I think my family.
Family?
Yeah, thankful for family. I have a lot of blessings, but I think that's what I was thinking mostly about.
Right on. And when you say thankful for family, what is about family that you appreciate?
You know, probably that was the strongest value that was instilled in me as a child, you know, family and being there for other members of the family to, I just have felt like the last, you know, few weeks that our family's been strengthened.
Right.
And, you know, some healing has taken place. And
Right on.
It's good for all of us.
Ain't nothing like a family that is healing, huh? I love that. Most families don't heal because they don't really deal with anything. My family, not all, but most, just in case they see the tape. My family is not a healing family. I mean, you know, like my aunts, my cousins and nephews and nieces, I don't even think they know about healing. I think if you try to heal the family, they'll think you're the enemy. They'll think that you're putting them down. There's nothing like when you can heal the family. That's cool. Did Doug cook a turkey?
Yes.
How did that turn out?
Unbelievable.
Really?
It was great.
Oh my
Kelly did
God.
About 10, well, whatever she did, about 10 dishes. Doug did a turkey like, you know, we never had cooked like this quite before, but moist, delicious. It was.
And that was the first time
Was it Doug?
for a turkey,
First time
right?
to do a turkey?
Yeah.
First or second, I think I might have done one before. But
So what made you think you know how to cook a turkey? I don't understand it. You're like, I'm gonna cook the turkey. I'm like, really? That's a big task.
I like cooking.
He's a good cook.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, bring me a piece of turkey tomorrow, dark meat.
Too late.
Let me taste it and see what it's like.
It was really good.
Oh, great.
Had a few relatives in, so there were 8 of us, and Forrest was a really good host.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. For the first time, he wasn't like, where's the food? We gotta eat, I gotta go to bed. It was just, you know, he was like part of the whole gang, and it was really fun.
Well, there is a God. What are you thankful for, Kelly?
I've obviously experienced the healing as well of my family, and it was really nice to have Doug back in the house. And I mean, I've actually seen more clearly, you know, the good things my parents have done in my life, and been
Yeah.
extremely happy about that.
Great. It was like what he was saying. You know, yes, they made you angry about some things, but why spend a lifetime being mad? You can't even appreciate the good things.
Yeah,
That
and
wa-
I mean, they weren't trying to do the bad things.
Right.
You know, I can see how hard they worked and how much effort, you know, they put in over the years. They exhausted themselves for me. So.
Yeah. You can say that again. Man, don't I know? Well, that's good. How about you, Doug?
Thankful for family, for people that care about me, for where I live. I feel like I'm starting to find my path, and I'm thankful for that.
Right on, boy. And you can make a turkey.
That too.
I can't get over you making a turkey. Did y'all take pictures of that? We can put that on the Bond website. Doug make pictures. Cook turkey. How about you, Forrest? Then we got to move on here.
They're both really talented cooks, both Doug and Kelly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know Kelly. Kelly make good sweet potato pies.
She's cooking, every time she leaves at 5 in the morning, she's got a fistful of muffins to take down here.
That's right.
And you guys are going to be gaining weight here. As far as I'm concerned, I'm thankful for the ability to see clearly, to see.
Right on.
And even take it one step further, to act on what I see
Right on.
and see the results of my actions, which can be very profound, very quickly,
Right on.
very quick.
How about you?
Me?
Uh-huh.
I'm thankful for my family, of course. I'm thankful to be with my husband for good health. But I'm really thankful that I'm attracted to a different way of life
Yeah.
than the way my family thinks.
Yeah.
Not my extended family, I'd say, because they don't find any comfort, any goodness in. They're in their own world,
Yeah.
in their materialism and
Yep.
whatever they're into. Because whenever you just say the slightest thing, there's a wall.
That's right.
They're not interested. And I'm so grateful that I am.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's something else that God, for whatever reason, set us apart from that. Because we can be a part of that thinking too.
Yeah.
Just living a rough, material, unhappy life
Right.
without even considering the inner life and speaking up and being honest and growing. And, we could be stuck in that mode too.
Yeah. Their inner life is not important to them at all.
I don't think they know it exists.
That's right. They just discount it.
Yeah,
That's what they do. They discount it.
yeah.
And you try to help them or say something that's helpful, and then they I don't know, they're just God, connected to God. That's like foreign and,
It sure is. The good thing about what you're saying is, I've often said that our battle is a spiritual battle. It's a battle between right and wrong, good and evil. It has nothing to do with color, or male or female. And what you're saying is happening in all races of people, black race, white race, Hispanic race, because it's not color, it's of the spirit.
Right.
And there are some people who are connected to God who are really seeking and overcoming, and there are those who are not. And the results are the same. They don't want to hear the truth. And it doesn't matter what color you are.
right.
I love that. How about you, Stuart?
Yes, well, I'm thankful I have a good family. I don't have the kind of situation I had when I was young in my
A
family.
little louder for me?
What?
A little louder for me.
Oh, yeah, I have a good family. I'm working. The country's still relatively free,
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit free.
Yeah.
And
It's amazing that we're losing freedom like that.
yes, I know. I thought we were, if it wasn't for the last election, I don't have much hope.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that we're living in America and we're losing freedom. And I can just see how we're losing it, too.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think we're losing freedom, though. Those people who are in darkness, they don't believe that we're really losing freedom. They think what is happening is necessary. And it's crazy, but they don't see that we're losing freedom.
No, we're free to do things that are wrong.
Uh-huh.
But we lost the freedom within the limits of doing, within the limits.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like you have more freedom to do wrong is like losing your freedom.
yeah. It's amazing, man. Only in America.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm thankful to have a relationship with
I can't hear you.
I'm thankful to have a relationship with my mother.
Oh, good.
And
You guys are working that out.
yeah, and even she's trying.
Right on.
Yeah. And I'm thankful for God's chances.
God, what?
Chances.
Chances?
Like giving you chance.
Oh, yeah. Right on. That's cool. I didn't ask you, sir. You look so sharp. Doesn't Frank look sharp?
You look good.
He's thankful that he stole all the money and going shopping. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful to live in this country, this time that we live in. Thank you for my life. I'm thank you for being able to see,
Yeah.
and my eyes are open.
Hey, stranger. I'm thankful that you're here today. Where you been?
I've been around. I've been here.
You been where?
Here.
How's things going?
Yeah, I'm thankful that things are going well.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't have any complaints.
None at all.
Not in a complaining way.
But you got some in a non-complaining way.
Right. I mean, there's always stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yep.
thankful for a lot of things that, let's see, my daughter is doing well, for good health.
Oh, good. Is she at college?
Yes.
Which one?
She went to Atlanta. She's at Atlanta, the Art Institute of Atlanta.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And she's loving it, and that's good.
Yeah.
Being independent, that's great. Yeah, so.
Well, I'm glad to see you. They do come back after a while.
Yeah, you guys are always on my mind.
Right on. Have you been listening to the radio show?
I haven't.
Oh, you've been missing it. Oh, my God.
Tune in.
You got to tune in.
Yeah.
And call in.
Cool.
Yeah. Long story short, I was seriously thinking about this while being at home in Indiana because of the environment around there. And what I realized is that I am totally thankful that for whatever reason, God decided to change my heart, change my life. And as Forrest and others have said, allowed me to see. Because prior to God allowing me to see, I was miserable. I really didn't know how unhappy I was until I was able to see. Because I didn't know you could literally live a different life in a different way. And that in living that life, there is perfect peace. You know, can you imagine? I live a life because of Him changing my heart. I live a life of perfect peace. And it's just amazing. It doesn't matter what's going on around me. It doesn't matter what the challenges are. It doesn't matter what it looked like to my eyes. It still doesn't take away my peace. And 21 years have gone by and it's been that way. And to me, isn't that like amazing that I could be on this earth and live, and we all can do that? Live a peaceful life, never mind the challenge in life. And I come to realize that I am not my challenges. Whatever's going on in my life is not who I am. It's just a situation going on. It's not who I am, so I don't have to get identity from it. And because I don't need an identity from it, I don't need to be angry about it. Because it can come and go. I can take it or leave it. And things are always changing anyway. And because He's locked me away from or blocked me or locked me off from trying to identify with challenges, I have perfect peace, and I'm thankful for that. And then I'm thankful for everything else. But I am totally thankful for being able to see and have perfect peace. And that's what I've been working hard the last 20 years to get other people to find that space so that they can have it too. Because Christ came that we all should have that. It doesn't make sense. It is not necessary to live on earth unhappy. And it's not based on anything materially. No friends. It's not based on friends. It's not based on family. It's not based on material wealth, what you have or don't have. It's not based on what I do or don't do. It's just that He locked me in and gave me life. And so I just live from that. And that's a blessing. Isn't that something? And I want everybody to have that. Christ wanted you to have it. And that's what I've been working at getting you to do. You got to let that happen to you. It will happen. And once you're locked in, you can't get out. That's another nice thing about it. Once you're locked into this way, this perfect peace, there's no out. You can't go in and out of it. And then, long story short, I'm thankful for all of you guys who have helped me over the years. Everybody out there, and especially you guys here, you've been around. You helped me through rough times financially and all that to keep the organization going. I'm grateful for that. I don't take that for granted at all. And I'm thankful for some of you here who've been mad at me. You like me until I tell you the truth, and then you get mad at me. And then, but you don't stop. You know, you hang in there. We get it worked out, and I'm grateful for that. And that's what family should do. Something Christine mentioned, working the family issues being worked out. That's what men and women of God do. They work out the issues. They don't run away from them. You know, it may be tough for a little while to work them out, but you stay with it. And it starts to unfold. It starts to work itself out. And we've been like family in working out those issues. I'm grateful for that. Absolutely grateful for that. And so that's me. That's all right. Yes.
I'm grateful for you and your forum that you put up here and every day and not be attached to the outcome. Because before you'd be mad a long time ago, walked off.
If I was attached to the outcome, I'd be gone.
Yeah.
I've been
able to be patient and let us.
I'd be in South Central calling myself an African American.
The dashiki on an afro, huh?
Uh-huh. With an afro and power to the people. No, thank you for that. I appreciate that. But it's been like family to me. It really has. Just working out. I wish I could get my real family to do this. You know, my cousins and things to really work out issues. Yes.
I'll say I'm thankful for you too, to have somebody there that we could talk to that without being judged.
That's right.
It's like probably the only person there is that can do that.
And that is so important, to be able to talk to someone without being judged. But that's what parents are for, though. Parents are supposed to be there, and when we were growing up, we should be able to go to our parent, talk to them without being judged. But they're judging each other, and so they're going to judge you too, and just end up a mess. But can you imagine being a parent and judging your kids?
Yeah, we can.
How about you, John? What you thankful for, the cameraman?
I'm thankful for my 2 boys, my 2 sons.
All right, but not the wife.
Well,
So the wife, which came first, the 2 sons or the wife?
well, it's kind of hard to be thankful for the wife that we're constantly fighting. But,
Oh, yeah?
but that's the main thing. My two sons. I'm thankful for them.
Okay. It's kind of hard to be thankful for the wife because you're fighting. But if you didn't identify with the fight, with the challenge, you could be thankful for your wife too. But you identified, you don't realize that you're not this fight that you're having with your wife. You're not whether she agree with you or not, or whether she does what she should be doing. You're connected to that, and that's why you can't be thankful for your wife, because you should be grateful for your wife too.
Yeah, I should.
But you're not.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Poor wife. But we'll get that. We'll resolve that. Because your wife needs you to be grateful. There's nothing like, when you're not attached to things, there's nothing like a good fight. Have you noticed that? There's nothing like a good fight when you're not attached to it.
Not a fight.
Yeah, you know how to fight then. Yeah.
I was saying, can you talk about the identifying with the fight?
So what? Identify with the fight?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Can I talk about identify? Yes, Forrest. You want to relate to that?
Well, I think one of the most liberating things is to realize when you have conflict with people and they're unreasonable or not objective, they can't help it at all.
That's right.
When you realize that they can't help it, then the electricity of judgment dissipates.
It does.
So that's the big thing to actually realize.
Our subject matter today is the art of speaking up, and this can relate to the fight thing you're talking about. I'm gonna let you think about it because I don't want to just tell you. You know how I am. I like to ask, what do you think about the art of speaking up when you hear that? Because I want people to know for themselves. Can you get Doug for me? Oh, the act of speaking up. Okay. They're both the same. Okay. Get Doug. I want you to think about this. Is not a test. This is fellowship. This is good. When you hear the act of speaking up, Doug, I asked you this morning. When you hear the art of speaking up, what did you say? I said, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I said, well, what comes to your mind when I say that?
I said that, I forgot exactly what I said, but it had something to do with, like, to me it makes me think of getting myself ready to speak up or
Right.
gearing myself up to say something.
You got to start speaking up. Okay. I just want to get that on record.
Why?
Why? Because it's to help people. We're trying to help. When you hear the art of speaking up, what goes through your mind? Because we're always talking about speaking up.
You said the act of speaking up.
The act of speaking up. The act. Let me write down act.
The art.
I got art here.
A little different.
Yeah, let's do act. They're both the same. When you hear that, but if you heard me say speak up, but don't hate, right? You heard me say that over the years. What do you think that is when you hear that?
For some reason, liberated come to my mind.
A little louder for me.
For some reason, liberated come to my mind.
Liberation.
Yeah, like,
When you can speak up.
yeah, or overcoming come to my mind. Because sometimes before you speak up, you have sometimes a great, like, fear of speaking up. But once you speak up, you overcome.
Sometimes you have that fear of speaking up, and then once you've done it, the fear is gone.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. How about you, Stuart? You heard me say speak up. Make sure you speak up, but don't resent. What does that mean when you hear that?
Well, I mean, I was thinking, well, there's two ways of speaking up. You can be hostile and speak up, or you can speak up because you really have something to say. I'm not, it depends on why you're speaking up. What are you doing with it?
This is what goes through your mind and stuff.
Well, I can speak up, I can get angry and speak up very good.
Right.
But if you do it the wrong way, that it sort of keeps you from doing it the right. Then next time the right way comes, you got to watch yourself. You may not do it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a little confused on it.
You're confused on it?
Slightly.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, Forrest.
I think when you speak up, first of all, ego cannot be involved at all. When you're about to say what's right in a situation, but you also should be sure that you're an example of what you're speaking up about. Otherwise, the words are
Can you guys hear Forrest?
useless.
Okay, a little louder for us. They can't hear you way in the corner there.
That you should be an example of what you're about to speak up about, because your words are useless if you're not an example. They're not going to be heard by anybody. And the first thing I said is not from your ego. You should speak up for what is right and let the chips fall where they may, and let everybody jump up and down, and you stand there and watch it.
Okay. Now, I'll write down a note because I want to go over this in a minute. How about you, Doug? When you hear speak up but don't resent, what goes through your mind? What does that mean to you?
I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to not speak up without resenting, but I still get really nervous before.
Right.
Like last night, Kelly and I were watching a movie and I needed to tell some people to be quiet. And I still got really nervous before I did it, and I
Right.
was sort of a jerk about it. I could have been nicer, but, I felt good after I did it.
Yeah.
And then I felt kind of bad because it turned out the guy I was telling to be quiet was one of my friends that I'd known for over 10 years. But I mean, I was in the right because, they were, talking during a movie.
Yeah.
So, but, it felt, I still got really nervous before I did it, but it felt good after.
Right on. Okay. I love it. I love it. Let me just ask Ron this. Let me ask you, when you hear the art of speaking up, what goes through your mind? I haven't seen you in a while.
There's so many layers to it.
The act of speaking up. Yeah, I'm saying art, act, don't worry. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Go ahead.
Hoping I was paying attention. There's a lot of layers when I think about that, because I have somewhat of a problem, like holding my mouth. Like I want to speak on whatever, if I see an injustice or whatever, if I feel like I want to say something, I have a problem with saying, why don't say something.
Right.
So in a way where, as I'm hearing this, I'm thinking, if you want to tell somebody that's something that could be offensive, then I can do it in a comedic way, and that way my message will get through to them, and they won't take defense, because you can say stuff and a person can go into defense mode and they won't hear it.
Right.
Or because they'll be setting up their defense to say something back to you. They can't really hear what you're saying. Or I just always want to be effective when I'm
When you speak up.
when I speak up.
And are you?
Because I love to do it.
Are you effective?
Certain times. Sometimes I have to think to say it in a way that the way I would want to hear it, almost. Like I always consider feelings too. Like
Oh, okay.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right.
Sometimes I do, but for the most part, I don't want to hurt your feelings. So I had a situation.
Why you don't want to hurt feelings?
Because guess what? I deal with clients, and sometimes their breath is stinking.
Right.
And I don't want to say, how do you say that to somebody?
Your breath smell. You like a mint?
Yeah, but you can offer them a mint, and if I'm not chewing or having a mint, and I don't like mints, so that's one way that I always think of. How do I help somebody? Like, say I see a fashion no-no.
A fashion
and I
no-no.
want to tell the person, it would be better if you did something a different way. But
Right.
So that's that scenario. Other scenarios, I don't care. I'll just speak up on it. I'll make it funny to the person so we could both laugh, because we see the same thing and
Oh, okay.
we're thinking on the same lines, but I'll say it. So I like doing it. I like speaking up and making things funny. So I don't know.
Okay.
Speaking up, I think it's a great thing.
I kind of realize that when I say speak up, don't resent, then people go around speaking up. But because with truth, it's hard to find words to describe what the spiritual life is and to live that life. And when you use certain words, then people are used to words and they go out and act out those words. I had an employee once who was speaking up. And this guy was speaking up so much and I had to fire him. And I'm like, and I would tell him stuff to do and he would just speak up. Well, you just don't want me speaking up. And I'm trying to say, I'm your boss. You're going to speak up right out of that door. And I finally got rid of him. And he can hardly have people around him because he's constantly speaking up. But he's speaking up from ego. He's speaking up straight out of hell. And it is affecting people in a negative way. But he doesn't know. He thinks their negative way is because they don't want to admit they're wrong. He doesn't realize that they see that he's coming straight from hell. And they see that he's not who he says that he is. But he's speaking up. And a lot of people do that. They hear speak up and they start speaking up and driving everybody nuts. Everybody crazy. Yes, ma'am.
What's the difference between me speaking up and people being opinionated? The person you worked with, you might have said, I'd rather you type this. No, I think my writing is perfect and I could have written it out. If you're my employer, that would be my opinion.
Right.
But if I'm in a forum like this, am I speaking up or is that my opinion? Do you see what I'm saying? This thing
Yeah.
with the dog, in the movie theater. Yes, you're speaking up because you can't hear it, and that's the truth.
Right.
We are in a movie theater, we should be quiet, everybody shouldn't be talking, but is it the opinion that it should be a little,
I love that.
it should be quieter? What's the difference? Am I an opinionated person now, or am I speaking up because it's the truth, and it's how I feel, and I'm trying to share it with other people? You know, you tell me something, I may not remember.
Right.
You know, you write it down, but if you involve me, then I'm there. I'm there, it's happening.
That's a lot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I know what you mean when you say, there's a lot to be thinking about in life. And that's a hard way to live.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all ego. I believe Forrest mentioned ego earlier. The one thing I want everybody to know, that within all of us, there is another reality, there is a spiritual world. There's another way to live. And in that way of living, it has nothing to do with you at all. It has nothing to do with what you think or don't think. It has nothing to do with, you can't determine when to speak up and when not to speak up because you have nothing to do with it at all. And because this other inner world is a world built of love, every time you speak up to someone, you are speaking up to enhance their lives, to awaken them, to educate them from within. You are absolutely speaking up out of love. And in your heart, you're not thinking, it's not even a thought of whether you're going to hurt their feelings or not. There's not a thought about if it's right or wrong because it's going to always be right when you speak up from the heart. It's not a second thought about it at all. You just say it. You just say what is given to you to say, and it doesn't come out of your head, so it's not coming from ego at all. You're not, and most of the time you're surprised when someone get mad about you telling them the truth because it's with love, and you're not thinking, well, they're going to be hurt from it or they're going to get angry. You only realize they get angry about it after they react to it, but your intention is to enlighten them in order to wake them up. That's what you're living by. And it has nothing to do with anything else. It has nothing to do with ego. You don't think about speaking up or not speaking up. You just do as you see to do. And there are a lot of times when if you're in your ego and things happen, you'll let them pass rather than speaking up to them. But a speaker-upper would jump on it. They feel like they got to speak up to everything. They won't let anything pass. And that's coming strictly from ego and not from insight.
And those same people won't let you speak up to them.
And that right? They won't let you speak up to them, but they're speaking up to everybody because it's coming from the head. It's coming from the pride, and it has no love. It has no encouragement. Even when you speak up, because God is in control from within, there's a timing for speaking up. It has to be like a perfect timing in order to awaken that person. That's what it's all about. Whether it's your husband, wife, your children, your friend, your enemy. It's all done in a timing way. Because a lot of times, when you're in your ego, as a matter of fact, if you have an ego, you can't do this the way I'm saying. Because you only serve one God. And when you have that ego, it's bad timing. It's the wrong time. Because the devil tells you, do it now. And you do it now. And you think that's coming from you, and all hell breaks loose. It doesn't bring peace. It brings hurt, it brings anger, it brings destruction. And then you get mad at the people for acting it out because you spoke up. But if you speak it from love in that timely moment, because your heart is pure and in the right place, you have the patience with that person when they get angry because you're like surprised really that they got angry. And so to answer your question about arguing, you asked me the question about arguing with someone, right? when you speak up, when you're coming from this place, you never argue with a person. You cannot argue with them because they're coming from hell and you're coming from heaven. And you see, to argue with a person coming from hell is like arguing with a drunk person. And you're not going to take it personal when they're arguing back, try to argue with you, because you would see that they don't see.
So it's pretty much just all ego, right?
All ego. That's why I got...
Where I know they can't help themselves, but at the same time, sometimes it's like, God, where's the logic? And then I start getting involved with it again.
Yes.
But I'm like, can you see it? And I know I'm not going to see it, but it's like sometimes I'm just...
Well, that's your ego getting involved, because you got to lay down that ego life, which is of the devil, which is pride, which is man or woman playing God, separated from God. Because when you don't have that, you won't impose on anybody. Like when I was counseling with this preacher and his wife over the weekend, the preacher man didn't want to see it. And I'm saying, well, don't you see this? Do you see it that way? And the wife is going nuts. And I'm sitting there trying to, and after a while I said, okay, I can't make you see it. I'm just telling you that. And the wife was like, this is what drives me nuts. And she said, the difference between you and me, Jesse, when my husband can't see it, I get mad and go nuts because I'm trying to make him see it. And I notice that you just walk away from it if he doesn't see it. And that's what it is. She's not coming from love. Love doesn't impose itself on anybody. And love operates in a timely way as it is given to you to do. Not out of here, but out of here. And that's what speaking up is not about just going and speaking up.
Right.
It's not about deciding what you're going to speak up about or not speak up about. It's not about jumping on everybody because they're doing something wrong. It's not about, I see the neighbor with a bunch of dogs and they're wrong, I got to go and get rid of them. It's not about all that. That's all ego, all pride. It has nothing to do with God. God is trying to get you to speak up, so he wants you to wake up people. He's working through you to enlighten. He doesn't want you to dumb people down by making them angry with your ego. He wants to enlighten people, to wake up people through us. That make sense?
Amen.
You cannot get salvation by speaking up. You understand that? You can speak up until the cows come home. You're going to end up by yourself. It's still in hell. You cannot get it by speaking up. You're afraid of authority. Your parents have taken away your courage. And so somebody come along and says, speak up. Now you go out there speaking up, thinking that that's going to build courage, and it will not. You got to forgive. You got to drop your anger. You got to drop your ego so you can enter in. I never in 21 years have spoken up with the intent to hurt anybody. Never in 20 years I've not done it. Prior to that I was doing it. But in 20 years I've never spoken up with the intent to hurt. And another thing I've never done in 20 years, I've never considered their feelings. I can care less about your feelings. I can absolutely care less about your feelings. Because feelings are straight out of hell. Feelings are straight out of ego. Feelings is from pride. And it doesn't want you to tell them, don't tell me the truth because I don't want to get better. I've never considered people feeling, because feeling is from below. Compassion is from above. And so only prideful people consider another person's feeling. Isn't that amazing? I see so many hands with so little time. Yes, ma'am.
This state of mind that you have, is this I want to know, is it a promise from God that anybody could have this if they truly want it? And the reason you don't have it, the reason why some of us speak up with anger or whatever, is because we don't really want to give up our ego. And so God doesn't come into your heart, doesn't change you. So
I hear the word, and I hear people say, well, maybe I don't have it because I don't want it.
we want it enough.
I think people do want it. There are people in this room that I honestly believe wants it. I know Wayne Jr. wants it.
Yes.
But I believe that he doesn't want it enough where he would sit still long enough to overcome it. God said, seek first the kingdom of God, and everything will be added. His ego, his pride won't let him put that first. Get up and have that prayer time with God so he can guide you. Because if you have that prayer time with him, that quiet time, the rest is easy. The rest would take place by itself. And I'm not talking about the hooping and hollering prayer. I'm talking about sitting still, shutting up and knowing God. Allowing things to be shown to you. I was telling a cousin of mine, I said, I've taught you to sit still and allow God to take over. I said, you got to go back to that. You can always do your little hooping and hollering thing afterward. Sit still first and then get up and hoop and holler and thank Jesus and all that kind of stuff. But you got to sit still so you can let go and let God. So he can disconnect you from that ego. It has to happen in the quiet moment. And that's why a lot of people don't have it.
So that connection, if you have that connection, then God will give you whatever you need.
Everything else.
Everything else.
It's like finally seeing speaking up is not about just speaking up.
Right.
It's about it being revealed to you, through you, so you can say it.
So if somebody says that they're doing wrong and they say, well, it's up to God to change me, and don't you try to change me, and if I'm not changed, then that's just the way it is. That's really an excuse.
It is.
It's an excuse because if you truly want to connect and sit quietly and everything, it
will happen.
It'll happen for everybody.
It'll happen. It will happen for all those who truly seek and put him first. But see, another problem with that, though, a lot of people have been misguided about seeking. Right. They have been told, you got to read the Bible, you got to go to church, you got to hoop and holler, you got to lift up holy hands, you got to carry on. And that's finding God. It is not finding God. You will never, ever, ever, ever find God that way. Unless somehow or another he accidentally gets you. You have one little slight quiet moment, he'll jump in there. But you got to let go. Be still and know God. And so speaking up is not about thinking about what you're going to say, because you're not thinking from here. It's given here to say to you. Speaking up is not about feeling bad or feeling good if the person get it or not. Yet you're grateful when they can see, because you know the kingdom of heaven shall be theirs. You want them in there, but it's not about that. Speaking up is not about how you think about it. Your opinion isn't worth a dime. Do you know your opinion don't matter? My opinion doesn't matter. Opinions are straight out of hell. And the evidence of that is when someone disagrees with your opinion, you get mad. But if you don't have an opinion, there's nothing to be mad about. Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you, it's about letting go and letting things happen. Because you're following this other person anyway out of hell. All your opinions and the way you think, your anger, your will and stuff is out of hell. You're not in control of that. The God you serve is making you act that way too. You have one quick question in 1 minute's time.
I had two now. I want to reply to what she said, and you said it. That is an excuse that don't try to let God, what'd you say, let God change me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to respond to that in 30 seconds. When they say, don't try to change me, let God change me. If he doesn't change me, it's the way it is. When they do that, just say, okay, yeah, that's fine. Bye. We can still be friends, but I will never try to change you. You can't change anybody anyway. I can't change anyone. And the reason they're using those words because the preachers have told them that kind of stuff. And we are so out of time. We're going to pick up on this, I hope. Bye.